I do get annoyed. Like, sometimes you watch and they're got the storm chasers chasing shit around, and they're just like browbeating people.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even outside? What are you doing? We warned people for days. I heard someone say that on Monday. And they was like, oh, he's driving to what maybe looks like the shelter of this small town.
Yeah, or like, maybe
like,
they're going to fucking work.
Anything.
It's not like you could just, hey, I mean, yes, you can, but some people are like, hey.
You could have had this, like, why isn't everybody just already locked up?
Yeah.
Already. I mean, yeah, if something's coming your way and you're just out being a dipshit, there is
Which,
that.
I don't know, like, some storm chasers, maybe? Like, I'm sorry, dude. I watched some video of these two guys. It looked like, I guess it was two storm chasers just driving down some dirt road, obviously driving well above the speed limit, and just dodging around debris and fallen trees and stuff. And, well, they're chasing it. They're going towards it. These guys are... I'm going to be charitable and say floating stop signs. Yeah, they're just, I get they're doing a job, and it's a job that they're getting paid to do, and there's some sort of demand for it. But, honestly, the whole storm chaser thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because I don't understand, they don't really ever add anything to me that is like, oh, well, we wouldn't have done it if you guys hadn't have been there to say, hey, there's a tornado on the ground. Because they're always looking at the radar going, yeah, there's a spin up here. There's a tornado here. I know that I'm not there. I'm looking at it on radar as the meteorologist. There's got to be a tornado there. Well, that's all we need to know.
So why don't you like start?
The main thing was I just don't see. I'm not saying there's no instance where they don't contribute or offer anything that the meteorologist in studio couldn't have offered, but most of the time it seems like they're, hey, I'm out here on, the back 40, I'm looking off to this direction, and man, there's some real circulation, and oh my god, there's something coming down, and the meteorologist says, oh yeah, I can see that here, the spin up right here. So I'm just kind of like, what are they providing?
I would push back a little bit and say they're also providing, like, hey, I'm right here on, they tell you, like, their location.
Yeah, where they are.
They can be, like, a little more descriptive as, like, where they are and conveying it to us watching it. Plus, they're communicating to, David Payne or Damon Lane or whoever it is, and they're communicating it through them so they can understand shit too as well. Yeah. I would be like, that's really what they're there for. Not to really you want them to get like shots of tornadoes and shit,
Well, yeah, cool. And during the moment when it's all happening, you have a pretty clear indication if the weatherman, the meteorologist, whatever, is staying on top of it. Who needs to get into a shelter and who doesn't? It's when they keep cutting back to these guys that are like, yeah, everything you just said, I'm looking at, and in this vague, murky, inky blackness over here, I think I see something. There might be a little bit of a spin up, but I can't say for sure. Or they'll like over exaggerate and just be like, holy shit, this is going on, or there's some serious lightning out here. Back to you. It's like, okay.
There is kind of a line people cross or reach when there is, enough of a worry to warrant, like, hey, we need to fucking check the weather. There's stuff spinning up.
Yeah.
And then it kind of dies down.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got the dude in the helicopter.
They're like, oh, we need to be. It's.
I just wonder how much of it is theatrics, like, and how much of it is, hey, just you get. I just wonder if they had a guy who was just like, hey, yeah, here's where I'm at. Looks like some, a lot of circulation. I'd say if I was in this town, in this area, you really need to, like, maybe be thinking about getting in your shelter. Back to you guys. But then if they tell them, like, hey, man, kind of amp it up a little bit, like, get a little warble in your voice, like, we need you to we need you to dramatize this a little bit. So the next time he does it, he's like, there's some serious circulation over here. I'm seeing debris, maybe a dirt cloud. And, I don't know, if you're over in this direction, I mean, it's going to be hell on wheels. So, you might want to, like, get into a shelter or, I don't know, like, you're probably going to die. So just get in your car and run away. And they don't do that, but it might be a little more interesting if they did.
Well, there's a little difference between when the storm is out in the middle of nowhere versus getting to the metro for obvious reasons.
Sure.
But yeah, if it's like way out there, then
they
kind of do what you're talking about, because one, it's tougher to sometimes just get the storm chaser out over there to like.
Well, and a lot of times, I know I watched a tornado once come down from a distance. And it was after the fact. I watched it, after the fact. And it came down, it went back up, it came down, and then just, made a beeline to the, north and east. And it didn't take long for that massive tornado to just be black sky. You couldn't see shit in there. And the compelling moment to warn people is when it, kind of started to descend and come down. After that, it's just all... It's got to be mayhem over there, but I can't give you specifics. The people in the weather center that are actually watching the rotation on radar, or what do they have? The Doppler XL, they're all their newfangled things that they're whatever new name they slap on it. That's probably the more interesting and compelling and helpful stuff than here's a guy 5 miles away looking at it from behind. Waxing philosophic on it while, it's just road grading a whole town. I just don't see the point a lot of times. And I actually saw an article, last week or something. I want to say, of all things, it was a New Yorker article. And it was a guy talking about storm chasing and how it's just kind of, the shine is off of it because there's just so many people doing it, so many amateurs, professionals, quote unquote, and it's just like a zoo. And it kind of talked about some of the tragedies with, what was it, 2013 or whatever. You had that one Weather Channel vehicle that got jacked up, and I think some people died, like a father and son, and somebody else that were a weather chasing team got killed. And the more, and again, I'm not saying it's there, but the more I see of it over the years, the more I'm like, are we actually heading towards Twister? Was Twister a cautionary tale where there's going to be the shithead asshole storm chaser that's I'm going to get to this storm first, and I'll do whatever it takes to get, Carrie Elwes. Are we going to have that guy? And we've got the Helen Hunt and the Bill Paxton that are the noble storm chasers,
the publicly funded.
Yeah, it's we're just here for science, and this guy's here for a career. He's here for the fame and the glitz and the glamour.
And he's got a lot of money.
And it's it's a tornado. I'm not saying, again, I'm going back to what I said. I'm got my own disclaimer built in, because I could be coming off pretty ignorant on this. I don't know. I'm not saying they don't contribute anything. And I'm not saying there's not any sort of scenario where they could be key in preventing, loss of life. I just don't know that I've seen it yet.